So upcycle, roll with what you got. Well, if you don't have much, you still roll with it. So this orange theme you taken from the kids' curriculum. Today's lesson is on contentment. And we've already heard the scripture, learning. So here we have our first object lesson. We have a glass of, it's not full. It's half full. Or it's half empty. Pax is right on the money. But if I found out, I only made a few phone calls, but if I put someone's favorite beverage in, maybe it's not your favorite beverage gourd, but if I put this favorite beverage in, now is it still half empty or is it half full? Veronica said it's half full. Do you like orange juice, Veronica? Yes, she does. I know my husband does, and if there's just a little bit left, he's got another large orange juice in the fridge in the garage ready to go, so he never runs out. And I have to be very careful how much I drink. So I tend to be a half full person. I'm looking for the other half full people. They're usually smiling. There's Stephen. I can tell because his eyes. There is Joanna. But you know what? Depends on your personality, right? I was a half full, not a half empty, because I had a pony when I was little. I had a bunny, and I had a goat. So, I mean, I have nothing to complain about there. But when you have been raised a certain way, you're not necessarily going to be a half full person or a half glass, right? So that's our first illustration. But we have from the scriptures today, Paul, who's going to teach us how we can learn. I'm going to try to give you at least 3 keys. Where's your key? Right there. Maybe it's going to go in here. It's going to go in your heart. And we've been learning through our Breathing Underwater 12-step program. We have to have our heart and our heads connected as well as our bodies. Judah's nodding. Thanks, Judah. I appreciate that. Because if we have one not working in sync, then we're not going to be holistic, are we? We're not going to be healthy. So Paul is our example, Paul the Apostle. Now, Paul said he learned contentment. But let's see what happened to him. What happened to him? Did he go for a swim? Is that Kitts Beach? Is that in Marcus's motorboat? That wonderful motor. No, this is a shipwreck. And Paul also doesn't look like he's content there, but he's, right? Okay, then we see that he's also being whipped, persecuted, under great duress. Does he look content? Veronica says he does. And she's the boss. She's right up here. She's feeding me my answers. So then we have a jail. Now, what's Paul doing in jail? Is he content? Is he counting the rocks while he's in jail? How many rocks are up there? Lots. Many. Okay, is he counting the sheep? Where's Rick? Rick, hello, Rick. Is he counting sheep number 1, woolly, sheep number 2, woolly? You know, some people have to count sheep when they can't go to sleep. I just count how many times I usually visit the room down the hallway. So how about rats? Does he count the rats running by? Because I know in prison there's a lot of rats. He's not. What's your prediction? What's he doing in prison? He has to be in there in prison. Yes, Pax. Yeah. You want to tell us why he's in prison as well as what he's doing there? Go ahead. I'm going to hear you out. So he was in prison. Did I get this right? For teaching about Jesus. Yeah, he was talking about the resurrection. So that means Paul must have thought it's worth going to prison. So that's kind of a key, isn't it? I need your participation here. I'm one of these interactive teachers. So the first key Pax gave us, that's a really good key. I never actually thought of that key, Pax, that it's worthwhile to go through discontentment in order to achieve something greater of value and worth. I can see some people nodding. Excellent. Is there any other feedback on what Paul would be doing in prison besides counting rocks, counting the days he's been in there, counting his blessings? How would that work? Kim, you can talk about it later. Sirsha. I need you to tell me again. Oh, right. That's a good suggestion. I would like to be hanging out with Sirsha if I was enclosed in a claustrophobic space, and she'd come up with a great game to play. And what about the rocks? Wow, she's inventing a new game. That's amazing. And Rose has got her hand up. Well, that happened in one instant, didn't it? But he was imprisoned one long time, and he was too busy getting persecuted, being whipped. Maybe he was visiting Stephen to try to figure out his taxes. I don't know. But he was very busy, so he didn't have time to write. And what did he do in prison? He wrote at least 4 books of the New Testament, including, Ephesians. Come on, Bible scholars. Philippians, thank you, Nathan. Colossians. I heard today when I looked up that he actually wrote about Philemon. And then later on when he was in prison, he wrote about Timothy. He was being amazing in that prison. Besides counting rocks, what would you do? Cry until you had no more tears left? Yes, Evangeline. You guys, I don't know. I think I have swimmer's ear. You have to be louder. You would annoy the prisoner guards. Well, so they would eventually get distracted, and then you would get the key, and then, yeah, I know that you would do that. Sirsha. So she's going to turn into a super Sirsha. She's going to depend on her laser. Well, okay, the main thing is, the first key, besides what Pax brought out, being worthwhile, is that he found some way for his trial to be beneficial. Now, I just had a problem. I know you know I have no problems, right? I have quite a few problems, but last week I had a pretty serious problem. I was flossing my teeth and a filling popped out. Ooh. Now that's not a big deal, but I was starting to feel pain. That can be a big deal. Pain. And so I thought, I'm going to have to go to the dentist. Now, I know you all love to go to the dentist. You get lollipops from Kim's lollipop tree. or you get a new toothbrush, but I hate going to the dentist. And that's one of the things that traumatizes me, because I've had a few root canals. And sometimes I scare the preschoolers by showing them my mouth. Anyway, we won't go into the details on that one. But I had to see the dentist, and the dentist 2 years ago had told me that I'm a grinder. And that's not a positive. You know how you grind your way through? That can be a positive. You keep going. You're in high school and you're grinding your way through. You might be in grade school and you hate math and you have to grind your way through. But when I was grinding, I guess I was dealing subconsciously with a lot of my anxiety. So, you know, the song that was sung, why should we worry? Because we do. We do. I do. And that's one of my problems that I've inherited. And so I didn't know that my grinding problem was so serious that I was grinding myself down to hardly any enamel left. So when the dentist looked at me, did she chastise me, or did she criticize me, or did she say, Kathleen, I told you 2 years ago that you were a grinder? She didn't. She just said, oh my. I wonder if we have enough enamel in your tooth back there that we can put a new filling on. And I'm thinking, is she going to get mad at me? Is she going to tell me that because she told me I needed a mouth guard. I went and tried it, and it felt very uncomfortable. I know some of you guys have mouth guards, and that's great. Anyway, she managed to give me about 5 needles, and I've never had more than 2 or 3 at a time. And then we won't go into the details. For me, it was kind of like torture. I managed to get out of there. But today I stand before you with a new filling and no pain. Now, I have to go back next week because I've got the same problem on this side. But I'm not going to give up. I'm going to persevere. And I might buy a mouth guard. I might say, I'm worth it. So here we are. Paul, the key here, even though that's how I sort of felt coming out of the dentist. Like that. So another key we're going to see in the orange so-and-so show. Between 2 girls, we have a scenario happening. We have Becky and we have Bathilda. And I want you to figure out what's another key. The first key is finding it worthwhile to go through the trials and the persecutions and also finding something beneficial, long-term result while you go through your pain that you're enduring, you're persevering through, because there's something beneficial that's going to happen to you at the end, right? Now let's see Becky and Bathilda and find another key for learning contentment. Okay, let's pray that we can hear Becky and Bathilda. By the way, while we're waiting for that, how many of you still have your Halloween candy? Okay, this is kind of going to jolt you into reality, I hope. Oh, we're going to get some sound. Uh-oh, so we have to maybe get some sound. Here we have Becky and we have Bathilda. Pretty soon. And how many of you, when you get your Halloween candy, you kind of organize it like I used to? Right? So you organize all your old Henry bars, you organize all your Fruit Loops, your chips, put them all out on the table. And do you find that you have some favorites? So this is what this clip is going to be about. Hopefully we can get it going. If not, we'll just talk about it. What is your favorite, Eleanor? Oh, Henry's. Sunny. Wonder bars. Anybody else? Mars bars. Amy? What was that? Oh, that's one of my faves. Coffee crisp. Tic Tacs. Kit Kat, that's the other one of my favorites. And Saoirse has another one. Twizzlers. Amy. Smarties. What about this side? Oh, we got a match. Wonder Bar, Wonder Bar. What about the candies that you don't like? Uh-oh. Marshmallow things. Sunny says. Skittles. Is that, oh, sorry. Skittles is good. What do you do with the candies that you don't like? You spray them? Oh, you trade them. Oh, you guys know the secret. You have a secret of learning how to be content by trading. But this one girl, in a minute, we get to see her. I don't know if I want to dramatize that. She got very frustrated. What do you do when you get frustrated? Cry, yell, stamp your feet, throw your body on the floor. She kind of just started ripping all her sour candy and throwing it everywhere and saying, I hate sour candy with all my life. I hate. Amy. Yes. You don't like sour candies either? Okay. Now that's the one girl. What did the other girl do? She did not do that. She did not rip what she hated and throw it all over the room. What did she do? She found some things. I don't like these. They're peanut butter cups. Oh, Veronica likes peanut butter cups. And I have. Oh, all right. Yay.
So what is it, Kellen? What's the secret of being content?
Well, I'll tell you. After we check in with our friends Becky and Bathilda. Whoa! Look at the haul of candy these two have. This, my friends, is what it looks like to have more than you need. And you'd think it should be easy to be content in a situation like this, right? But then, Bathilda...
Who would do this?
Who would do this? Gross! No, not the sour candy! Who would give out sour candy? Ah! I hate sour candy with all my might! Ah!
Maybe Becky has it figured out.
Peanut butter? Oh, no, I don't like peanut butter. Mm-mm. Okay, yeah, these got to. But you know what? My dad likes peanut butter, so I'll just set these aside for him.
You see that? Becky was able to turn something she didn't like into a positive. While Bathilda, well, she lost her cool. Becky was content while Bathilda was not. And that's when things are going good. What happens when things aren't so good? Aw, it looks like Becky and Bathilda are a little under the weather. Okay, maybe a lot of it under the weather. This would be one of those times when it's hard for anyone to be content.
Dad! I'm uncomfortable! Dad! I need more pillows! Hello?
Bathilda's a little upset. And I totally get it. I can get that way when I'm sick too, or when I'm hungry, or when I don't get my way, or when someone has something that I want. It isn't always easy to be content. But then Paul wrote that he learned the secret of being content no matter what happens.
Thank you for the ginger ale. I wish I wasn't sick, but it's nice to know that I have someone taking care of me.
There are going to be times when things aren't going perfectly. You're going to get sick. You're going to be hungry. You're going to be too hot or too cold or too something. And in those times, you'll need to know the secret of being content. Here it is. Paul wrote, I have learned the secret of being content no matter what happens. I am content whether I am well fed or hungry. I am content whether I have more than enough or not enough. I can do all this by the power of Christ. He gives me strength. Jesus is the secret. He gives us the strength to be content no matter what happens.
Something that's going to cause you pain, and you still go through it. You persevere, you endure, because there's something beneficial for you. The third key, or this whatever we are talking about here, was Becky, when she didn't like her peanut butter cups, what did she do? She gave them to Papa because he liked them. So Becky was thinking about sharing, but also caring for someone else. So maybe we're going through difficulties so we can help someone else or care for them. And then, what was the last one? I've got 2 piles of rocks up here. So the last one I want to leave with you is to do with creative imagination. So, who would like to be 2 volunteers, or if you're in the same family? Okay, come on up, Pax, and come on up. Yep, Evangeline. See if you can create something out of a pile of rocks. People out there, what would you do if you had the chance to come up? What would you think about would be beneficial about a pile of rocks? What would be helpful about a pile of rocks? Anybody? Oh, Matt. Oh, by the way, I have to say you can't throw the rocks. Okay, that's the only stipulation. We have no missiles in the church. They can't blow away? Are you going to blow? Okay. Well, definitely, they're not going to blow away in the hurricane, right? Yeah, right. Thank you. What, Eleanor? Oh, so she's thinking musically. So Evangeline made a stack of rocks to reach the top shelf. And Pax is trying, it's not exactly easy, is it, Pax? Because it takes a lot of balancing. Oh, wow, Pax, he just tracks with me. He's amazing. This is my little Inukshuk, Pax. And I know the feeling. Sometimes the bottom one doesn't stick, but I cheated a little bit and used a little bit of clay. So the Inuit people of the Arctic use the Inukshuk. They don't have trees, so they have their rocks, creative imagination they have. They made Inukshuks like Pax is making to show directionality, like if they're in a snow blizzard. They use Inukshuks to find the way. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes they need to find their way to the ocean where they have to hunt for seal to survive. They don't go to grocery stores to find their food. And Pax did it. Give him a hand. That's amazing. Thank you, Pax. And do you want to take that one? And Evangeline does too. So there's an example of creative imagination, taking something that really doesn't feel content to make something amazing to help humankind. Thank you.